Okay, so to go over the answer to the Power Strategy 1 question on the previous page, let's look at the chart in question. So here's a chart, and what we need to do is we need to first identify where the trade is. Now remember, we're looking for a Strategy 1 trade, so we're going to want to be looking for obviously an ABCD formation. So can you find that ABCD formation? I want you to pause the video and I want you to look for that formation, and once you've found it, restart the video. I hope you found that. So that is our ABCD formation. So we've got our A point here, going down to the B point here, up to C point, and down to D point, which is around about this area here. So now where would you enter? Now I want you to pause the video. I want you to work out exactly where you're going to enter, and once you figure that out, restart the video. Okay, so to work out where you're going to enter, you would obviously first find out the number of pips from A to B. Now you may have to approximate this because sometimes it's a bit difficult. If they're not exactly on the grid lines, then you may not be able to work out the exact amount of pips, which is fine because we're just generally trying to practice Strategy 1 trades. So what we would do is we would take the amount of pips from A to B, or even if it means just looking at the distance from A to B up, down this way, even if you mark that out with your fingers. And what I would normally do is I would measure that with the amount of squares that we've actually got here. So we're looking at around about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a tiny bit. So 5 and a bit squares. So what we want to do is we want to take a quarter of that, and that's going to be our entry point, which is 25%. So our 25% mark is about here. So that's where we're going to be entering, and we're going to be shorting, meaning we're going to sell and open a position there. Now where are you going to be placing your stop? I want you to quickly pause the video, work out where you're going to place your stop, and restart the video. So placing the stop is pretty simple. We're going to be placing the stop slightly above the C point. So we're going to be placing our stop as indicated. Now what about the price that you want to move your stop to break even? Where are you going to be moving your stop to break even? At what point? Pause the video and work it out, and restart the video as soon as you've done that. Now again, the break-even price is very simple. We're just going to be taking 50% of the A to B move and working that out from point C downwards. So entry is 25%, so another 25%, which will equal 50% in total, is going to be where we would move our stop to break even. So as indicated at this price right here, so in this red bar as it comes down, when it hits this price here, we're going to take our stop from here and we're going to move it down to our break-even price, which is our entry price. So exactly where we entered is where we're going to move our stop to. Now don't worry about the logistics of this, exactly how you do this in the broker account. We're going to cover all of that later. Right now you just need to know, you need to work out the price and know that at that price you're going to move your stop to the break-even, which is your entry position, meaning your entry price. So now what about your exit? Where are you going to exit? Pause the video and restart once you figured it out. So this one's pretty simple. The exit will simply be at point D, which is 100% of the A to B move because it's AB equals CD. So the move from C to D is exactly the same as the move from A to B. So at the D point, you're going to exit. So you're going to buy back your full position. Remember, we sold first, we went short, so we're going to buy back at point D. Now, what is your risk reward here? Work that out and restart the video once you've done that. So let's look at the risk reward. So between our entry and the stop, we have around about 1 and I would say about 1.5 squares. Now you can obviously just quickly do this with your fingers on the screen, and we want to work out what the distance is from the exit to the entry. So here we have around about 3/4 there, 1, 2, 3. So around about, I would say 4 and a bit squares. Now let's think about this. On the chart it may not be exactly clear, but we can work this out pretty much without even looking at the chart because we know it's a strategy 1 trade. So we know from entry to stop it's 25% because we're obviously going to be entering at the 25% mark. Then we know that the stop is at 100%. So we know the distance between entry and exit is that 75%. Because if it's 100% from point C to exit and the stop to entry is 25%, we know this is 75%. So if your stop to entry is 25% and your entry to exit is 75%, now we're looking at approximately 25% and 75% because you're going to have your stop slightly higher than the C point and your exit point is going to be around about the D point, and because of the spread of the broker, which we'll go into when we're actually doing some live trades, it's going to be around about that price. So if we've got a 75% and a 25%, we can work out that the risk reward, and this is going to be the same for all strategy 1 trades because we're always going to be entering at the 25% mark and exiting at the D point. The risk reward is 3 to 1. So I hope you got that right. If you didn't, you may want to go over the previous module again and make sure that you understand what was covered in it. If you did, then please continue over to the next page and we'll go through another example.